Hello, hello, hello. It's Quinn with PTSD while black, and there's always stuff on the bed, just so you know. um, oh my god, I'm so excited. I have some balloon events that are coming up this weekend, and I've been preparing and taking photos of models of balloons. I'll start with that before I get into the subject of abuse, because we need some fun, right? So, this one I think is from Michael Floyd's design of a power sword, and I was going to do the top in white and the bottom in blue and make it my Hanukkah sword. And then I have a crossguard basic sword I'm adding, and I already have on my menu a Kwanzaa saber because representation matters, baby. Representation matters. Oh, and then this is a model, a Yule wand. This is going to be a clear balloon on top, but I was just using the balloons that I had in excess to make the models. Okay, anyway, let's talk about affirming ourselves and owning our part in making it possible to participate in gang stalking, right? Okay. I'm going to take off my glasses because I need to read. That logic made no sense. No, I want to be able to look you in the eye. So it was so funny because the couples group were reading from this book, and it's talking about abuse issues that can happen in a relationship. And it goes over the abuse as being physical abuse, sexual abuse, verbal and social abuse, intellectual abuse, abandonment behaviors, spiritual abuse, and financial abuse, how we abuse our partners and ourselves. So I kind of laughed because I'm like, okay, physical abuse, not my thing. Sexual abuse, not my thing, except for when it came to non-physical sexual abuse includes disrespect for our partner's sexual privacy, telling other people details about our sex life that embarrasses or offends our partner, sexual name-calling, unfounded, jealous accusations of infidelity, and excessive flirting to activate jealousy. First of all, I'm a flirt, period. And it's not to activate jealousy. And my husband knows that. I'll flirt with old ladies. I will flirt with people in the grocery store going, girl, you look good. Yes, I like those pants. I believe in affirming people. And so that's just me. But some people I realize take that as flirting because they don't really get that kind of an interaction. So it's not to arouse jealousy, but people can take it as jealousy. And I think that's what happened in my case with the gang stalking. Um, I wasn't trying to activate jealousy. I was just like being Quinn. And this person didn't know Quinn and he had his own insecurities. But telling other people details of our sex life, that's what got me in trouble. The guy asked me a question about my relationship. We're two married people to other people. And so I was like, I'm used to talking to other couples about issues and relationship stuff. And so Quinn, not thinking, it's like, oh, well, I will talk about these challenges that I have in my relationship, and he can talk about his challenges or whatnot. But he was very secretive around his. He was pretty honest about some of the stuff, which I will respect his privacy because he didn't mind. Um, but the accusations of infidelity. This is my first long-term relationship with my partner. All I had witnessed was my sister being cheated on and abused, my mother being cheated on. So I thought this is what happened in every relationship, and I was always looking for um, being cheated on. And so as I'm honed in that way, then that's abuse that I do towards relationships. I did it towards this relationship with my partner. He did it towards me when we first started out. And so it's kind of like, okay, well, we can do things differently now. Um, and I'm like checking that. I'm learning to say now, where is this coming from? I've gotten to the point that I love my husband so fucking much, so much, that if he wanted to cheat on me, I'd just ask him to tell me, please, so that I can, let's use protection if we're together. Just tell me. Just tell me. Let's make arrangements for what works. I love him enough to let him go. My love with my partner is freedom. And I appreciate that my partner gives me the freedom to be who I am, and I return that favor. to give him the freedom to be who he is. So it's, yeah, pretty good conversations. But my biggest forms of abuse that I do are verbal and social abuse, which is judging, ridiculing, or making fun of someone's feelings, sarcasm. Social abuse is dictating whom our partner is friends with, limiting our partner's social freedom to spend reasonable time away from the relationship. And I'm so happy that my partner has a best friend right now. I'm like, please go play with him, go talk to him, have fun. But I notice when I'm new in relationships with people, whether that's friendships or whatever, I'm kind of like, well, are we okay? Are we hanging out? Do you like me? Because I have social anxiety disorder. And I realized that that played a part in my role with the dysfunction with this person. I think he took it as me dictating who he could act with because he knew me first, and he did this thing where he was adding the people that he thought were the best, his friends or whatever, and he's wanting to call me a best friend. And I'm like, you put on the list the name of the person who I told you that has been abusing me, or I felt that was copying me and harassing me. I'm like, you put that person's name in front of my name, but you've known me longer. That really kind of hurt my feelings. I expressed that. And so I think he took that as me limiting his freedom. I'm like, dude, you can be with anybody, but if you're going to call me best friend, if you're going to call me wifey, but smifey for smule, I better be in front of the person that I told you is abusing me. So that's just me owning my self-worth. But I can see how it can be taken that way because that is a very old pattern. Also, acting superior is a form of verbal or social abuse. I'm not superior. I think I'm an equal to people, and I want to be equal with people of equal talent, people who have equal ambition and wanting to pursue things. Um, I don't think I'm superior, but I know I'm not a good match for someone who does not want to grow or advance or move forward in life. Um, and then abandonment. The abandonment symptoms are withholding emotional nurturing, ignoring our partner, threatening suicide, practicing addictive behavior, or leaving the relationship without discussing alternatives and consequences. Um, so my addictive behavior is work addiction, compulsive spending, eating disorders, and underbeing. And they also list codependency on here. I was like, oh shit. So I abandoned. And also with chronic pain, when the pain becomes the forefront and we're not able to focus on others or on how we're reacting with others, that other people have a world of their own, that's abandonment. And I see in my gang stalking situation that I participated in abandonment when I had a very bad PTSD episode because I'd watched a video of a police shooting on the news, and I have racial trauma is one of the big triggers for me. Um, and I had no business being around white people at that time. None. Expecting white people to be compassionate, expecting white people to understand what I was going through. That is a pain that was right here in my face, and I needed to take care of myself, be with safe people who understand this, and then be able to move forward. So I'm recognizing that for me as someone with PTSD, I want to avoid neglect or abandonment behavior towards my relationships. I want to be emotionally available, and I need to check to see, am I emotionally available for this or not? Um, but the biggest area of abuse that I do is intellectual abuse. I'm going to read this whole thing. Intellectual abuse includes attacking or ridiculing our partner's ideas or thoughts, failing to respect the ways in which our partner's thinking is different from our own, trying to control or manipulate our partner's thoughts and ideas, taking control of or manipulating our partner's problem solving or decision making process. I'm so guilty of this. Telling our partner they aren't smart or knowledgeable enough to do something, withholding facts that may affect our partner's decisions, and not sharing our own ideas, beliefs, and doubts with our partner. And So I recognize it's like, ouch, ouch. I have like, look, I got most of this paragraph highlighted. Most of it's highlighted except for the withholding facts. But because I'm an open book. And I realized when we're in the meeting and we're talking about this is how I was abused. Intellectual abuse. And that's from narcissists in my family of origin and my community as a kid. So I thought that if I am abused in this way by those that I love, then it's my role to do that. And so I'm like owning that, oh, that's my negative or inverted thought pattern that this is how people who love you treat you. No. Because the ridiculing, I know in the Black community, we pick at each other in ways of, oh, you did that wrong, you did this wrong, you should do this, you should do that. It's because we're afraid of anytime you do anything wrong and you're Black, you could lose your life. You could lose your job. You could lose your home. That's our heritage and history that we've had. And so this is kind of a way of loving somebody to prevent them from being in harm. And I recognize that I did this with people who don't know what that reality is or expression is. And I can remember years ago on the job that people would be like, Quinn, you're just so critical. Why are you so critical of everything? I'm like, it's got to be done right, because if it's wrong, it's going to be a serious effect on everyone. So it's not perfectionism, but it's, I don't want you to be hurt and I don't want me to be hurt. So I look at that twisted way that I twisted. I look at that twisted way that I was raised and that I thought that I was being loving, because I'm trying to manipulate someone's ideas so that they'll do the right thing so they don't get hurt, so I don't lose them. So I'm really glad I could see this. And when I talk to, what's his name? Woe. When I would talk to Woe is Us all the time, I would be like, oh, you should do it this way or you should do it that way. Have you thought of doing this? Are you interested in feedback? And I appreciated him saying, no, I'm not interested in feedback. So I can understand how I hurt his feelings, because I was really doing, I think I made him feel less than or unimportant, but really, this is how I show love in new relationships. And that's not healthy. It's not loving. It is abuse. And so when I see that it's something that is not nurturing to another person, then now that I know it and that this is what I'm doing, I want to really work on affirming my partner's ideas. Um, asking them to clarify, because I don't understand their problem solving methods. I don't understand their decision making process. Can you share your vision with me? That's one of my most favorite lines. Thank you, Lisa Nichols, for that one. Can you share your vision with me? Because I don't understand. Because I don't want to put them down, but it's like just their idea pattern is different than my own. And I really abused my husband early on in the relationship, because I would be like, well, I've lived alone for years and you've had roommates, so it's a very different reality. You don't know what you're talking about, but that's just, we had different realities. And failing to respect the ways in which our partner's thinking is different from our own. Oh my God, he's so kinesthetic. My husband's so kinesthetic. He's got to experience it. He's got to feel it. He's got to touch it. He's got to do it. Me, I'm like, you tell me and I get it, because I'm high auditory. And I've had to learn to respect how my partner grows, how my partner takes in information. I've had to learn to respect that. And sometimes, like, I'll see him doing stuff, like he's helping me, and then he'll like get right in my path when we're doing something together, like a chore. And I realize that he's thinking of only the physical aspects of stuff versus the linear process of something, and not, as always, spatially aware. And so I used to get so upset at that. Now I just realize I'm glad you're helping me with this project. Um, could you please use your words so that I know when you're coming into my space. I'm having to learn how to talk to my partner. But with these people who initiate the gang stalking, we didn't even get to this point of knowing each other or having conversations. Um, Instead, they participated in other abusive behaviors. Um, Very much so the social, sexual, um, and covert physical abuse. Um, oh, let me read that for you, just so if you wanted to know. Covert physical abuse isn't so straightforward, but it is manipulative and destructive to a partner's self esteem. Covert physical abuse includes name calling, denigrating physical attributes, your nose is too large, breasts or penis are too small, and using unflattering nicknames. So that's part of some of the stuff that I've experienced in this process. So I'm glad that I get to look at what am I doing that creates this, that makes people feel afraid. Okay. And then what am I doing that's undermining me, that I'm allowing people to do these abusive patterns to me, that does not feel nurturing, so that I can name what my boundaries are, what my limitations are, that this doesn't work for me. I understand that your way of showing love is to be possessive and controlling or judgmental because you want to make sure the person stays, but that doesn't feel like love for me. That's not love for me. It's frightening. I felt like I was being caged in. And after being so free for 12 years with my partner, of learning how to grow together, writing contracts on how we're going to communicate with each other, and going into the space of being made small because someone else's world was made really, really small, it was painful and traumatic for me. So I'm just being able to see the situation for what it was and how I participated in it. And what all that I can do is change the ways that I participate. And as far as the abusers and what they do, I just need to not be available for them to abuse me any longer. I wanted to get this out because, one, it was so revolutionary for me in the meeting, but I know there's so many other people who are going through being stalked or harassed online that sometimes we are losing ourselves. And it's just a choice. It's just a choice to ask, do I want to have nurturing experiences with others? Or do I want to have um, the painful experiences that I'm used to from my family of origin or earlier relationships? It's okay to look at those previous relationships and also to look at the stalking that has happened and to say, I don't like this. I want something different. I want something better for myself than this experience. It's 100% okay to do that. I just wanted to offer this as some form of relief for us all. And I hope that we can be able to grow and change and to step up to love. That's the name of the book, by the way, Step Up to Love. But to grow and to change and to be able to move forward. Yep, we made the mistakes. Yes, we pooped our pants and we got involved with people who could stab us in the face. Okay. So we clean up the mess that we've made. We clean ourselves up and we put on new underwear. We know to go to the potty when the urge is there. Okay, it's kind of the same thing when the urge is there to interact with someone that does not feel like nurturing, or when someone invites me to be in a space of where I'm not being nurturing, that it's not for me. And I get to let it go. I get to let it go. So I just wanted to offer this. I really wanted to offer this. And instead, I can put my mind on what are the things that are nurturing. And for me, I just realized today, I got the biggest like giggle orgasm was from twisting balloons, from being creative. Heck, even from making the signs that I needed to make and editing the artwork for my display board. That is nurturing to me. That is loving on me. Creativity for me is nurturing. And so I have a responsibility to myself, for myself, to be nurturing, to be creative. And because otherwise, that creativity, which I always have, it goes into creating the reasons why I was wrong or why I allowed the situation to happen, or, oh, I could just change this person in this way or that way. That creativity gets misaligned. I'd rather have it on twisting balloons instead of twisting my mind into a pretzel. I'm wishing you healing and ease as you go through this journey. Till next time, peace.